Okay.
Your mic's
I don't think you're on mic, Cynthia. I don't think that one's on.
I'm just gonna scream.
We're AJ and Cynthia from Inner Space, Week 96 on Space. Anyone see our episode on Friday where we had our special guest there? Hands up if you saw it on Friday. It got a little intimate, so perhaps that will continue on stage. We'll see. Yeah, let's do our introduction for our guest.
All right. The man you're about to meet is an accomplished singer and musical theater performer, but we know him best as the roguish Captain Jack Harkness.
Actually straddled two doctors at one point. The transition might be wrong. All right, as the case may be.
And his spin-off was so popular. He was so popular that he was in a spin-off show called Torchwood. As the 10th Doctor once said, he's a 51st century guy who's just a bit more flexible when it comes to dancing. Please welcome John Miller!
Excuse me, fucking awesome. I apologize now for that, for swearing, but you know, I am what I am and you just get over it. Oh, you're gonna, what? Where are you going? You got mic problems? It's the first time you've ever had a problem holding something like that in your hands. But you seem to be okay with it. Who cares if it's Sunday? How's everybody doing? I just have to say that thank you very much for the huge response you've given me here in Toronto. I have been to Toronto before. It's the first time I've done FanExpo. I've been asked a few times to come, but I can guarantee you if I'm asked again, I will be back.
I know we're probably going to get a lot of Torchwood questions, but let's open with what you're about to work on.
Great, which is Arrow.
Arrow!
And I know you were just upstairs with them.
I went in and did an intro for a screening that happened. I believe they're doing their Q&A right now. So
oh, they are? So they're competing. I wonder who's got the bigger crowd. No, I hope you all watch it because I can't really tell you that much about it, but I'm just being called, my character is called the Well-Dressed Man.
I think you can handle that.
I'm pretty sure I can handle it. But there'll be more revealed about him. He'll be pivotal in the program, and yeah, it's something I'm very excited about. I fly back to Los Angeles this afternoon, and then I have an overnight in LA, and then I fly up to Vancouver tomorrow morning, and I start shooting again tomorrow morning. So it's a busy schedule, but I'm really excited. It came out of the blue. It came from left field, and they rang me and asked me if I would. This is what's great. Would you like to play the character on this new show? And I was like, yeah. I mean, come on. So yeah, I'm glad to be going into another kind of realm of you know, fiction, sci-fi, and fantasy and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Time to create another cool character.
We want to talk about one of your coolest characters ever. The ever-eager Captain Jack flirted with every woman, man, robot, alien,
yes. He loves an eager beaver.
So how much...
And you got a lot of them here in Canada, let me tell you.
How much of John is in Jack?
Do you want to rephrase that? The one thing that I always feel when you're playing a character, I hate using the word character because I know a lot of other actors get up and go, you know, the motivation behind it is really feeling, you know, what's inside. Shut the hell up. For people to like you and your character on television, you have to put an element of yourself into that character. And I'm proud that Russell and Stephen Moffat and everybody, and you know, Jane Espens and everyone who was involved in the writings for Captain Jack, they got to know me first. And then they put my personality, part of it, into Jack. So there's a lot of Jack in John and a lot of John in Jack. You know, personality-wise, because you all know me from, I assume you do, from either, you know, TV or books or interviews, and you know that I am kind of like Jack in his wit and his sexuality and all that kind of stuff. But the only thing I don't do is walk around the street shooting people in the head. Although it seems to be a thing right now on the news. So that's it. I think that's important, and that's what makes the characters and the character in shows for you guys good, because you get to see personality rather than something that is created.
Well, we're fast approaching the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat, now the man in charge.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that you had some creative control over the 50th anniversary episode. How would you like to see Captain Jack return, you know, and hang out with the Doctor? Is there a particular adventure you'd like to see them take on or something?
I gotta be honest with you, I haven't really thought about that, and just off the top of my head, you know, Matt Smith. I did meet Matt Smith before he, you know, I knew he had gotten the role of the Doctor. We knew what was good. Obviously, we know a lot before you do. And I sat down at a table with him at the BBC in one of the press offices and just had a chat. And we both said it would be great if his Doctor and Jack crossed and met. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see if he would come and find Jack on planet Earth. You know, it's difficult because we try not to cross. Jack can cross over, but the Doctor can't cross into Torchwood. He just can't. It's not. In our world, it's not allowed. So I think if he would find him, he'd travel back in time and find Jack somewhere, maybe chained up, surviving, or go to the future. What might be interesting is to, you know, go to the future and see how he becomes the face of Bo. Now that's just my little thing. Don't anybody go online and go, John Barrowman says that, and that's what the Doctor's gonna be, and they're gonna become the face of Bo.
That's gonna happen.
I know it's gonna happen. But I have to say that so I clear myself of all.
We are going to throw it out to the audience, but I just want to ask one question. If you had to choose, who is your favorite Doctor?
Don't even see, gosh darn it. Like I'm gonna answer that.
Not even
No, no, listen, you'll all understand this. I love the Doctor Who experience, I love the show, but I have to say my Doctor is David Tennant. Otherwise known as David Tennant. We both wear the same size shoe.
When do I break gaze?
Did you say, what point do I break gaze?
For sure, gaze.
Don't fight with gaze. Because we will break you.
On that note.
Yeah.
Questions from the audience. Oh my gosh.
There's a board right there in the front row.
Shout out loud.
I was just wondering if during the show Arrow, if you're finally going to see you naked.
Well, you've already seen me naked in Torchwood and in Doctor Who. What do you want to see me naked again for in Arrow? I don't know. Listen, you know, I'll leave the nakedness up to Steve.
How can you be the well-dressed man if you're undressed?
Well, then they have a term in England, it's which way do you dress? You didn't get that, did you? Dress to the left or the right, get it? Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I hope there's no nude scenes because I got love handles that I got to get rid of first. And to compete with the Steve who plays the lead in it, he's got like a 52 pack. And he's awesome. Yeah, awesome. And it's in my contract that he must be naked every time around me. He doesn't know that yet, but...
Okay, keep calm, and I'm not quite sure where that's going. Keep calm, and it's not mom.
Okay.
This is not really a question, it's more of a comment.
Okay, next. Anyway.
A couple months ago, I was bound to a wheelchair, and I was in a wheelchair for a very long time. And I recently just got out of it, and while I was in my wheelchair, I couldn't really leave the house, so I would watch Doctor Who and Torchwood.
Yeah.
And it gave me that escape, so I really just wanted to say thank you for giving me that option.
You're welcome, babe. It's you who basically did all the hard work. And if you were housebound, you should have just stuck some black cardboard over yourself in the wheelchair and become a Dalek. It would have been fun. That'll make it fun, doesn't it? Yeah? Have you done that yet? Anybody? No? Do it. It's great.
These are conventions where people who are passionate about, you know, various entertainments come to, you know, anime, whatever.
Yeah.
What is your geek out thing at the moment? What are you passionate about these days?
Oh, I've got a lot. Well, I've got a lot of geek out things. I mean, I buy a lot of collectible stuff. I do. I collect character dolls from shows, and also at the moment I'm really big into they're selling them out there. You know, the pint glasses with you know, Batman and Superman and all the different characters on them. Yeah. And they just released Josie the Pussycat. So I bought Josie the Pussycats, and I also got, they did some of the Archie characters, and I got some of those. What else? T-shirts are always my big thing. Every time I do a convention, I walk the floor. I don't go in disguise. I mean, I'm sure some of you saw me walking over the last couple of days. And everybody's cool. They let me do my thing because they know I'm a big geek myself. Right. So I buy T-shirts, and then when I take them back, you know, to the hotel, Scott rifles through them and gets the ones that he wants. And usually they're the ones that I want. So there ends up being a big fight, but then that leads into something else that's really and we wear the T-shirts, and then we pretend we're the superheroes, and it's awesome. I know we're doing some of the front. Get some from the back. Yeah? Oh, hi.
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 First of all, massive fan of everything. Torchwood, Doctor Who.
I am so glad.
I'm actually shaking right now.
You're shaking.
Yeah.
Don't key yourself. I am not into that.
Not to spoil the illusion for anyone, but obviously when you guys all cram into that blue box, you're not actually walking into a room that's bigger on the inside. I was wondering if you have...
What are you saying? I don't know what planet you're on, but we are.
I was wondering if you had any funny or awkward stories of being crammed in a tiny blue box with David and Freeman.
Yeah, David Freeman. Dave Freeman used to hate being in the box with David. Well, she's not that kind of girl. No, David and I with Freeman, we used to get in, and David and I would just start farting. And she's going, ah! Freeman never swore or anything like that, but I would look at David and I go, you ready? He's like, yeah. And she'd just go, oh, you guys are sick. And action. That's why she always comes out of the TARDIS looking like she's just freaked. Going, ah! and then those episodes, and when we would do that, we would call it the TARDIS. Yes, the Doctor and Jack farting their way through time. awesome.
Angela, okay, yes.
Hi, big
Hi.
fan. I was wondering, due to the huge recent population of fans in America, we've had a lot of increase in support with BBC America releasing Doctor Who at the same time. I'm wondering, do you think this is going to lead possibly to an American or a Canadian having a role as a companion or even as the Doctor?
I'm sure it could happen. I mean, look, I grew up, I am British by birth, but I grew up in America, and I was in the TARDIS. So you had Tegan in the past, who was Australian. You've had different actors and actresses who play stuff. Of course, there's room for Canadian, and I think it'd be the one thing that is great about sort of the fan world and sci-fi world at the moment. It is becoming more international, and you also have to play those things for other networks. Look, I'm going to be an Arrow, but I'm not stupid. I know that I'm on there, and I'm going to, hopefully you guys will come along to watch it. So they've got a huge audience going to come to their show right away. That's me talking smart business. So obviously, if BBC America or the BBC in the UK or BBC Worldwide want to further the shows and make them more popular in the different countries, of course they could bring in a Canadian. I think it'd be great. Just make sure he or she is hot. And they are a lumberjack. Wouldn't that be good, a lesbian lumberjack? God love the lesbians. Yeah, just choose better shoes. Okay? I love it. Okay, who's next? Right down there. Go ahead, speak up.
Well, first off, I just wanted to thank you as a queer woman.
A queer woman who's not good holding big things in her hand. Unless they're plastic. Oh, shut up. You all know what I'm talking about. Don't act shocked.
And I'm dressed as
I'm talking about big pens. Sorry, go ahead, sweetheart.
And I'm dressed as a lesbian superhero, so lots of neat stuff in this utility belt.
Speak up. Speak up and hold that close to your mouth. No, seriously, go.
I was just wondering, with genre seems to have a lot more queer characters than mainstream things, and I was wondering if you had any particular favorites out of, sci-fi, comics, that sort of thing.
Well, I actually have to contradict you there, because actually mainstream has more gay characters on television than sci-fi, and sci-fi does have a lot. This genre has a lot. We were the first ones really to do it,
yeah,
so to speak. But it's I don't know. Things are changing. People are writers who are coming up are like us. We're not afraid anymore to sit inside a closet or say who we are. So writers and actors, not so much actors, like myself, but a lot are not, some are still not coming out of the closet. But what my kind of big thing is, and this is where I'm so proud of Captain Jack, I'm proud of what Russell and Stephen and Julie Gardner and the BBC allowed me to help create, was the fact that I'm a hero. I'm not a flouncing queen who, and there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. But there's a very diverse group of gay men and women out there, and we need to be represented on television in the proper way. We don't need to all be stereotyped on television, and that's what happens in mainstream. And unfortunately, certain audiences around the world only identify with types. But for the writers and people who are creating new shows and doing things differently and breaking those stereotypes, those are the shows that we should stand by and stand up for and watch and be proud of. So anyway.
Just on that note, do you still find it's difficult in mainstream world in Hollywood? It still seems like it's hard for a lot of men to come out and then be able to be active in mainstream roles.
I don't know how to answer that because I don't give a shit what other people think. And if you are allowing someone to dictate the fear in yourself, to dictate, so you can't be who you are, then you really should grow a set of cojones and speak up and be up. I had producers say to me, in fact, it was someone said to me, and this producer was gay themselves, and they said, you shouldn't say about, your partner, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't be who you are. And I went back to Scott and I said, look, what do I do? And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'm not going to ask you to hide and pretend and go to a function and then pretend to have a girl in my arm just because some people aren't comfortable with it. That's not my problem. So I'm going to be who I am. And I basically said, no, I'm not going to do it. And they weren't cool with that. But you know what? That's their bad. And if they want to write me out or put me out of a show because of that, I don't care. I don't want to be in a show with people like that, so it is hard, it's terrible because I'm sorry, I sound like I'm preaching about it, and I guess I am a little bit, but people shouldn't be forced to come out of the closet. There's certain reasons some people don't want to, be open about who they are, and if it's a personal issue and an emotional issue, it's none of our business to out somebody, right? Everybody's got to do it in their own time. So if someone's saying they're not going to do it because they're afraid they're going to lose their job, that's something you really need to sit down and think about. Do you really want to work for people that are like that? And again, it's changing. It's all changing out there. And the more people who stand up and don't take that kind of behavior, the easier it's going to be for that, young man and young girl going through puberty at the moment who are realizing that they are gay and lesbian. They can look up to all the rest of us and go, you know what, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier, and that's what it's about. Who's next?
Hi.
Red hair and glasses.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say, John, I know you've done a lot of theater, and I wondered, did you take anything from your theater experiences when you're preparing for television roles, and which do you prefer?
I never answer which I prefer, because as soon as I say what my favorite is, I'll be pigeonholed, and I love the diversity of my career at the moment. Do I take anything from theater to television? I mean, I guess you take a little bit of everything, a little bit of pizzazz and show business. I mean, I don't know, it's a lot of people say, it used to be the old thing, they say musical theater people couldn't do television, but a lot of actors, very good ones come from musical theater, and a lot of people from television go into theater, so it's kind of a great crossover. What I do love is that the fans have realized that, sci-fi is a world of heightened reality, as is musical theater, and a lot of people have come over to musical theater, and you've got shows like Wicked, which are dealing with all sorts of different things, and who's you never know, there might be another big sci-fi musical one day to come along. So those are the kind of great things. So I think the crossover is great, and I know a lot of you guys have crossed over into those different worlds, and it's fab.
On a follow-up to that,
yeah.
You recently were doing some hosting work at Comic-Con, being the interviewer.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer, being yourself in those instances, or do you prefer being characters in entertainment?
Well, again, I'm not going to say. Because I enjoy that I can go on television and be someone like Captain Jack or the Well-Dressed Man, or a villain in Desperate Housewives, and then a week later, like in 2 weeks, I am hosting G4 again, Attack of the Show, for a whole week. So I get to go and do that, and I get to be a fan geek and a nerd because I get to interview the people that I think are awesome, and I kind of sit there and go. But what I love about it is I get to have a conversation I think, you know, I was, the first time I ever hosted a show in Britain, a live show, I was like writing all the questions out, and you guys know this, you plan ahead, but interviews never go that way, unless the person you're talking to doesn't talk. That's nightmare. You know, so what was it like working the movie? Good. And then you're like, oh God, I gotta fill 10 minutes. So I enjoy every aspect of what I do, and I love doing things where I love to talk. Where I get to talk and talk to people.
But you also have an essence that's kind of like that old razzle-dazzle kind of like early Hollywood. Like you have that.
It's called gay. You can do it too, ready? No, I consider myself, I know what you're saying, I consider myself to be an entertainer. I don't shy away from people who say, I'm just an actor. You know, I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I dance, well, I move, I don't really dance.
I saw your single ladies dance.
Did you? That was not meant to be online. That was a company that did our graphics for my entertainment show, Tonight's the Night on the BBC, and which CBC didn't want to buy, so that Canada didn't get it. Right to them. No, it's an awesome show. I'd love to bring it to North America. But yeah, it's, I've lost where I've been talking about pizzazz.
Pizzazz, you can dance too.
I'm an entertainer. I don't shy away from that, and I love what I do.
Angela, where are you?
Down the
yes,
aisle.
there, down the aisle, yes.
First off, this thing is heavy as heck. And actually, you had a perfect lead up to the question I had. I was going to see if you would do single ladies for the crowd here.
I don't even remember what I did. I can't do it. You know, you can't dance a cappella. You just can't. Oh, no. We'll see. My voice is really tired because I've been talking to everybody at the table, and I've been going to strip clubs at night.
Lots of hooting and hollering.
I have to tell you something really funny. I did get a lap dance last night. So, you be me. You be me. So, have any of you ever had a lap dance before? Yeah, whatever. You're just not going to admit it. So I'm getting, and you get all the rules, right? Okay? I'm not going to go into what the rules are. So sit there kind of like giggly and a little nervous, okay? And I'm getting this, and da-da-da-da-da. But the whole time, it was a guy, obviously. He's going, and then all of a sudden I didn't hear the anymore. It stopped. So I'm like, thank you very much, there's your money, and he's giving me all the... Right? So I give him the money, thank you very much. I go home. It wasn't that exciting, was it? I go home, and Scott, we're going up back to the hotel room, and I'm like, honey, I gotta go to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? My pants were stuck together. The dude had spit his gum out. And they stuck, so I'm like walking, and the gum is stretching between my trousers. Isn't that awful? Well, then another one. I was in a taxi. Yesterday, we were going to a restaurant, having dinner before we went for a lap dance. And we're having dinner, we're going to dinner, and this guy, he's in the cab. Now, I'm not making fun of accents here, trust me, because I grew up with that happening. But the guy, he really, you know, talked really like we, okay, everything, you know, he sounded like he was from Minnesota, yeah. And he's talking to me, and he says, "Oh, what show are you on? You famous?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, sort of. I'm on Doctor Who and Torchwood." "Oh yeah, Torchwood. I heard about that. Didn't they take that off the air because that guy was gay?" Scott went like this. And I went, "No." I said, no, we don't know if it's coming back yet or not, so it's still up in the air. I said, "But you know, they didn't take it off because that guy was gay." I said, "Because I am that fucking guy." And his face just went, oh, okay. And he almost hit a car in front of us. His foot went off the brake into the accelerator. Anyway, I love Canada. Did I tip him? No. I took some gum off my pants and I stuck it in his seat.
Where is the mic?
It's way off on the right side.
On the right, okay.
What about the left side?
Angela, gotta relocate next.
Yeah, Angela, get those legs working.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrowman. My name is Lila McLosh, and I'm a self-identified member of the LGBTQ community, an avid sci-fi fan, and a musical theater nerd. And you embody three of my deepest passions in the world, and I'm honored to be in this room with you today. And someone double dog dared me on this one, and
Oh, Jesus. A lesbian with a dare.
So, if you're up to it and willing, I'd love to sing one verse of All I Ask of You from Phantom of the Opera with you. I'll start.
Okay, but your keys, you're gonna be a lot.
You want me to go lower for you?
You're gonna be butchered than I am in this one. Jeez, I hope this works.
All I want is freedom, a world with and you always beside me, to hold me and to hide me.
Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you to your solitude. I don't know if it's the right word.
Say the word and I will follow you.
Love me, that's all I ask of you. And when I meet the doctor, what I've waited for since birth, and with all his doctor wisdom, by my looks he won't be blinded. Do you think the doctor is dumb? Or like Oods, he's so small-minded? He'll say to me, "I see who you truly are, Jack, a man on whom I can rely." And that's how we'll begin, the doctor and I. So my voice isn't wrecked by the third day. Anyway.
Beautiful. Do we make it to left end?
Yay.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm gonna go back to 2000 here. You were in a play called Putting It All Together?
Putting It Together.
Putting It Together.
Yep.
2 minutes into the second act.
Yeah, Carol Burnett's skirt fell.
Drops her skirt.
Yes.
I did not realize someone could jump in the air and roll on the floor simultaneously. So exuberant in your laughter there. Is there any other moment that exceeds that in terms of the shock and hilarity in any other production you've done, or what's a close second?
I mean, I've had a lot of fun things happen to me in the middle of productions and things like that, but the first thing that comes to mind, because it's sci-fi related, Any of you have, I did Putting It Together on Broadway. Carol Burnett was growing up, one of the ladies I loved on television, and to have something like that happen where she walked out on stage and she kept looking at me really strange, and she's going, and all of a sudden she just raised her hands and her skirt fell. And she's standing there in tights, her underpants, and a sequin top, and it was the best image ever. But I get up to a lot of mischief, and Arrow has yet to experience some of this. But with Eve, I don't know if I can't remember the episode exactly, but it was the one where I was in concrete. In Torchwood, I was embedded in concrete, and Yanto drove a tractor and threw the concrete block off the edge of the cliff, and it smashed, and I climb out of the concrete completely naked. So they have to drive up in a car, Kai, Eve, and Gareth, and I'm supposed to come out, and they're like family to me, so we've all seen each other naked, right? And for goodness sake, I slept with Eve. Not in that way. So I'm standing there, and before we rolled, I didn't let them see me because I wanted them to feel the impact of the moment. Anyway, I warmed things up a little. And I tied something to myself, and I got out and I just started doing that. And they came out of the car, and honest to God, if you look at the shots, Eve's face, she keeps doing this. And it's because really she's ready to laugh. And she's like, I hate you for that, because every time I would do a close-up, or it was her close-up, I would get the kids out and try to throw her off. But then I had to walk towards them, and the best part was, they're like, the nakedness didn't bother you, John, but I don't know what you call them here. We call them Lillettes with wings. Do you know what sanitary napkins? Well, I'm walking on rocks and puddles, and you think with all the technology they'd give me some rubber shoes. No, they stuck sanitary napkins to my feet. So I did. I'm giving it that, and then Eve says a line to me, and I go, camera's over there, they can't see it. But they fill up with a shitload of water, let me tell you. It was like having weights on my feet. So those are the kind of things that we get up to.
Way at the back there.
Yeah.
Hello, thank you very much.
Hi.
I just wanted to say it's said a couple times, but thank you so much for portraying such a positive role model on TV, like main star, action hero,
my pleasure.
Jack of all trades, pardon the pun. But my question is actually work with your sister, because you've done several books, you did a Torchwood book, and I know personally speaking, if I worked with my sister, one of us would end up murdered, probably me.
Well, we sometimes, want to murder each other, but my sister and I have a really good time. Sorry, are you done?
Yeah, what's the question? How did that come about? Like, did she go to you go to her? Was it something else?
Well, I have to tell you, it sort of goes back, and that's where my show Tonight's the Night came from, about making people's dreams come true, because my dream was always to do something like this. I never thought that when I was a little boy, that one day, sitting on that sofa or hiding behind it, watching a TV show about a man traveling through time in a blue police box, did I ever think that one day I would be in that police box and become one of those heroes that kids would just sit and watch and do the same for? So I'm a big believer in dreams and thinking positive no matter what happens in your life. So for me, having my dreams come true, because it's because of you guys that I live the life that is unbelievable, and I truly want you to know that I am absolutely grateful, and that's why I'm not an asshole, okay? If you come up to me in the supermarket and say hello or want something signed or a photograph, if it's not under these kind of controlled circumstances, I am so happy to do it because you've given me that life. So I now look at other people and that's why I mentor a lot of younger actors and things in the UK. And also my sister, her big dream was to become an author. So I knew that book companies were coming to me to write books, and I don't have that talent or gift to actually physically write the books. I tell the stories, I put them on this, and then I send her all the information, or she comes live with me for 3 weeks. We do all that kind of work, and then she goes away and she sits down and does the hard work and puts the words on the page, creates the voice for me, and captures it exceptionally well. So I was the one who approached her, and when they did the autobiographies, I said, I will only write them with my sister, and she will be my writer with everything that I do from now on. And consequently, both of us, on the back of her talent, we've become best-selling authors, and it's a big dream for her, and she's now living her dream. So we continue to do it. Hollow Earth is doing really well. My production company, we've sold the TV rights for Hollow Earth because I want to bring it onto television. It'll be a great, sci-fi adventure for young kids. And adults will love it too. The Torchwood novel, which we have just finished, BBC books and everything, and everybody's approved the story and done all their little checks and marks and everything. There was like only 3 changes made. We had to take out the F word because Jack doesn't swear. So it's Exodus Code that comes out later on this year, and I'm just so chuffed that you guys want to read them and are excited about it, and I'm chuffed that we're able to make, with your help, my sister's dream come true. So again, I'm saying thank you for her. So yeah. I won't talk as long, sorry.
You've had your hand up forever, so
shout it out, girl.
Shout it out.
I'm bi-dialectical. Correct. Okay.
Can you say something in Scottish?
I can say a lot in Scottish. The only reason that sometimes I know a lot of people are coming up to me at the table, they're asking me to do my Scottish accent, and I say this now, the reason I started to speak American when I came to the US when I was about 9 years old is because people made fun of this accent, and I was bullied, and rather than being bullied, I decided to play them at their own game, so I learned how to speak American. Now, it's not a conscious thing for me, it just happens. I don't have to think about it, I can turn it off and on anytime I want, because when I'm with my dad and my sister and my brother, we speak Scottish, but when we turn and speak to my niece and nephew, Claire and Turner, I speak American. So it just completely flips. I am, it's nothing, it's not thought out, it's not planned, because some people think I'm faking it, and it's not, it's part of who I am. So that's why my sister and I created in the first book, Anything Goes, that word, bi-dialectical. It's probably the one and only time I ever will be bi. Yeah, The Making of Me. Correct. The question is that I did a documentary called The Making of Me, which was whether it was nature or nurture to decide your sexuality. And the reason I did it was because, nobody really knew it. That people, well, we do, I know, it's because you're born that way, so it's nature. But they wanted me to do it because they said, what if you find out it is nurture? Will it change who you are? And that was the big question for me. And I said, well, I have to deal with that when it comes. But in my head, I knew it was never going to happen. That documentary has been received exceptionally well all over the world. I have people from places like Russia and South Korea who come up to me and say, we saw that. That's the one program they've seen, and they are, so happy because it's changed a lot of people's attitudes about it. In fact, I was talking to a young girl at the table earlier who, was thinking about coming out to her parents, and she was saying to me at the table, and I said, well, show The Making of Me, and that might be the progression that will help, but, let's So I'm really proud of that program. You're welcome.
The red shirt, probably last question.
Is it last question? When do we have to finish? We have to finish at 3. No, we don't have to finish at 3. It's 1:45. We have 3 minutes. Go, question.
You've talked about your excitement and about your new role in Arrow. So when you get a script, what is it that makes you say, yes, yes, oh my God, yes?
I didn't understand that. You need to speak a little clearer and hold them and shout and speak up.
You've talked about your excitement about your new role in Arrow. So when you get a script, what is it that makes you say, yes, yes, oh my God, yes?
You talked about your excitement.
So sorry.
You talked about your excitement in getting the role in Arrow. So when you get a script, what is it about that script that makes you say, yes, yes?
You're so gullible. You know what? It's about story, and it's also about, a little bit about, I can't say too much about Arrow, but we all know where it kind of comes from.
DC Comics.
I'm not saying, but we all know where it kind of comes from, right? And that's what excites me. It's because, and I only do jobs because I want to do them. I've done jobs before where I've done it for the money, and I've had an awful time. So I learned a lesson very, very early on in my career. And now, whether the job pays a lot or a little, I'll do it because I want to do it. And I think that gives you the best kind of bank balance, which is here and here. Last one. Anyone from the center? The lady in red.
Yes, okay, perfect. So, I have a scenario to give you. Captain Jack meets Sherlock.
Captain Jack meets Sherlock. What happens?
Benedict. I don't know. I mean, my coat is better. And if you look at it, the promo shots for that, I was flipping through iTunes and I came across this promo shot for Sherlock, and it looked an awful lot like the Torchwood promo shot with the coat blowing. So I take it as a very big compliment. I would, Captain Jack, I don't know if he would ever, no, he could never go on to that. But, in fan fiction, you guys can write whatever the hell you want.
For fans?
It's always hard to, it's not really, no, I just know that I absolutely appreciate everything that you've done for me, that you do for me, and that's why I love to come to these things. I am as a big a geek as you are. I'm proud to be part of the sci-fi world, and I love the fact that you love what I do, and I'll continue to do it as long as you want to be a part of it. Absolutely.